Hey folks, welcome to another VR video. Today we're going to be checking out OtherSight, and already just in this menu screen, this looks pretty cool. This is kind of a darkened basement of coolness. Let's I think I can click on that object. Can I move? Oh, I can. Sweet. So I've got an old movie camera here. This is very cool. So we're kind of in like a basement of some form here. Got some old military uniforms here from multiple countries, it looks like. Somebody is a collector of sorts. Wonder what all we can pick up. Not everything, but that's cool. I guess only the highlighted objects. But before we actually jump into the actual experiences, because there are a bunch of them, I do want to say thank you to the folks at the MetaQuest Ambassador Program for offering me the opportunity to check out this game and provide the hardware used in this video. So unfortunately, there's not a lot of interactive objects here in this particular menu room. And when you try to set them back down, they just start floating in the air, which is kind of crazy. But that's okay. I'm not sure yet exactly what we're doing. I can say it's kind of creepy not to have a shadow. Maybe we are vampires. But as you can see, this looks very photorealistic. As I move over here, we've got a soldier back there holding a gun. I mean, this person was definitely military, collectible. Huge fan of that type of stuff. We've even got little miniatures of like a little base here. This is very cool. Some old telephones. Remember telephones in your home? The little cord that connected to it? Most people these days don't have those. Thankfully, that's not a rotary dial, though, so that would still be useful. I don't know if rotary dial phones even work anymore. There's an umbrella stand here. So a basement full of this person's collections. My basement, if I had it organized well, would be full of VR stuff. So someday when we look at a photogrammetry demo of my stuff, my collections, it would be a bunch of old VR headsets. That would be kind of cool. So we've got a chair here, which is, I guess, where we started. And then I think if we turn, there we go. And there are multiple experiences. We're going to look at two today. So the Soroya Studio is an artist studio in Madrid. And then we've got the Vintage Suburban Trip to Tokyo, the Church of Santos Cruz, Neptuna Street in La Habana, and all of those are available through this application. I've only downloaded the first two. I really wanted to check out Tokyo, which is why I stopped myself before I just did the Madrid trip here. So it says here, Joaquin Soroya's main studio in Madrid, a step into the place of creation of Joaquin Soroya, one of the most important painters of Spain of the early 20th century. This is one of the best, well-conserved artist spaces in the world. You will see the brushes, his collection of curiosities, his paintings, and more. Explore the studio where the light was the main actor under the incredible talent of Joaquin Soroya. And we can look at some preview images here, which is kind of cool. There's 4 of them there. And then you can just jump in right here. And if you don't like an experience for whatever reason, or you just want to save space on your quest, you can also trash it. I'm expecting to not hate these experiences. I love photogrammetry demos. And this one's a bit more interactive than the previous ones I've tried.
We are at the start of the 20th century, a place in the heart of Madrid, an oasis where time seems to stand still. The house, designed by the artist himself, is one of the best conserved artist studios in the world, maintaining the entire decoration and work tools from that time as it speaks to us of the character of the artist. It is a reflection of his own personality in intimate surroundings where his ideas and intentions were materialized in rich paintings. We can imagine a calm, peaceful environment away from the hubbub of family life, to which Joaquin would withdraw in order to create in silence, full of light. It is curious, because Joaquin hated working in interiors. He avoided it whenever possible. But frustrated on many occasions by bad weather and unstable, cold seasons, he conceived of this curious sanctuary, both cozy and luminous. This is, without a doubt, his refuge, where oil, wood, and light merge together in harmony.
So that's pretty cool. This is almost like a museum tour of this guy's house, but it can also be self-guided. So we've got a statue of the Virgin and Child here. We've got a terracotta vase from Triana Sevilla right here. So, of course, when you get up close to some of these objects, like those bowls up there are not entirely perfect. It's really hard to get even close to perfection with photogrammetry, but this looks super realistic. Like this painting, which when I turned around and I saw it, it was right behind me, is amazing. I'm going to actually move around the circles so that I don't trigger that guy talking again. But if I go over here, I can learn more about the painting. This is Clotilda in Gray Dress from 1900. This is amazing. It's literally like I'm looking at that painting directly in front of me. It is super, super photorealistic. It's amazing. I wonder if I click on it.
Clotilda in a Gray Dress, 1900.
Oh, it moves.
This can be considered the most attractive portrait of his wife and muse, Clotilda, in a natural pose, resting on her right arm, conveying friendliness with a slight smile of complicity.
That is so cool. So there's another application called Art Plunge that's a few paintings that you can like dive into. And the paintings have like little movements like that is a very, very cool touch. I did not expect that. I figured I'd just click on it and it would talk a little bit about the item. So we've got the Immaculate Conception statue here. Can I click on that? No, it's just telling me what it is. And here's a portrait of Clotilda from 1911. This is a portrait not by the artist. The resemblance is there for sure. And then we've got a bunch of paintings up here. Can I click on these? No, none of these will allow me to click on them. But I'm assuming these are all paintings by the artist. This is amazing. I have gone to art galleries, both traditional art and modern art galleries in my time. It's a statue of Saint Joaquin, his namesake there. Some artifacts here. So these are interactive. So when I click on these, I'll be able to do some things. So if I click on this drawer, maybe I can open the drawer. And inside the drawer was a picture that moved to the other drawer. So this looks like a little sketch card of sorts. We got another one from this drawer here. And there's more in this drawer. These are cool. So I like the interactive elements. The interactive elements are a little bit janky, it seems. But I've gone to a bunch of art galleries, as I was mentioning. And one of the things that I really like about art galleries is the way that they present things, especially when they're kind of free roam art galleries like this. This is quite amazing. So we've got Boy Playing with a Boat in 1909.
Boy Playing with a Boat, 1909. From a high point of view, without horizons, this work conveys the innocence and happiness of childhood in a warm, friendly atmosphere. The sensation of tranquility, insouciance, and happy experimentation with the world is patent. Some authors have suggested that it could be Soroya representing his childhood.
That's cool. And then we got bathing times up here.
Bathing Time, Valencia, 1909. A work which combines many of the elements which Soroya mastered: fabrics, the sand, the sea, reflections and luminosity. A girl wearing a pink dress is walking along a beach under the attentive gaze of her carer, who is carrying a baby in her arms. A beautiful, peaceful, innocent moment in which we note the joy of living and a complete lack of concern about earthly things.
So this sort of combines both a self-guided tour and a docent tour, because when you click on things, you've got the person telling you about each of the art pieces. I'm assuming this is a self-portrait here. It's not telling me that. That's my assumption. We've got a little figure of Pedro Gil Moreno de Mora, who studied with Joaquin and years later was an important patron of Soroya's art. And then we've got some braziers used to warm up their fingers in the winter. I'm assuming the studio probably got a little bit cold. We've got those maps and pamphlets that you get in a museum in the corner here. They're not really legible, but they're not the focus of this. This is pretty exciting stuff. Oh, I love globes. One of the things I've been working on is a globe app for AR, just to learn how to use Unity. And this is cool to see a globe here. So let's see. Can we click on the globe? No. Okay. Cannot click on the globe. But we can pick up the inkwell here. Look at that intricate design on the sides of the inkwell. Or inside the inkwell if I place it wrong here. That's the writing case made out of porcelain from the 18th century. They've got a floor brazier for his feet, I'm assuming, to keep his feet warm. This is a friar-style chair. This is a mortar vessel from the 19th century. You can grind and mix things in a mortar vessel. There's another one over there from the 19th century as well. But these paintings are fantastic, and I can tell that when they came in and did these photogrammetry scans, and took all of these images and stitched them together, they took extreme care in making sure that these paintings show up as the showcase. Some of the other objects, slightly deformed, and that's normal, but they really focused on these paintings, and that's fantastic because it's literally like going to a museum or going to this guy's studio in Spain. I feel like I'm actually kind of there. This is a floral bench from the 17th century. Looking at all of his paintings, all of his works, all of his collection in this beautiful studio. So we've got Just Out of the Sea. He takes a lot of his paintings are seaside. So that's obviously indoors, but we've got 1, 2. I think those are both also seaside there. I can't really tell on that one. That's a boat for sure. I think that's also some boats there. I mean, all of these are seaside. This one is awesome right here. The person swimming. It looks almost photorealistic in the painting. And you have to think about, this was the early 20th century. So having that type of art is outstanding. That one looks like almost like a photograph right there. These are amazing. We're going to go continue our self-guided tour, and then we'll go hit these other 3 orange circles in a moment. So they've got Just Out of the Sea.
Just Out of the Sea, 1915. Here, once again, he depicts the intensity of midday sun, the blinding light of the Mediterranean, capturing the light colors on the white fabric, focusing on the woman who is covering the child after a luminous dip in the sea.
Very cool. And then it looks like, for some reason, it's pulled up a map. I don't know why. Go ahead and close that. We've got Jean de Emarganac, which is a bust that was dated between 1346 and 1388. So this is a very, very old sculpture here. And then a bust of Francisco Ponce Soroya, the first nephew of the painter. I don't know if he created this or if he somehow acquired it. It's very cool. We've got another painting here with some
The
dialogue.
last painting. This painting represents a decisive moment in Soroya's life. It is the unfinished portrait of Mabel Ritz, the wife of Ramon Perez de Ayala, a great friend of the artist. During its execution, under the porch in the courtyard, Soroya stood up to get paintbrushes and then fainted.
Oh no.
When he came round, with the help of his family, he went to continue with his work. Trying to make some brushstrokes and realizing he was unable to continue, he said the following: "Let there be one more imbecile. What does the world care?" He would never paint again.
Oh no.
This unfinished work represents the end of the creation of this impressive artist.
Wow. That's pretty deep, to be fair. And these are the different mortars and cans, and there's like a little blade here. I don't paint regularly, so I don't really know what all of these tools are. And then there's a bunch of brushes here. He used pharmacy jars to be his containers for his brushes, which is very cool. And more in the water paintings. These paintings in the water are fantastic. This is a bronze figure of his friend. I'm assuming he did all the casts for these figures as well. He's got some silk radiator covers here. So that's probably where he cast all of his sculptures. A wooden youth woman bust representing his daughter, Elena, from 1915. Ton more paintings here. And again, you can actually like look into these glass cases as well. Some of the things are a little bit deformed, of course. We've got a butterfly collection there. Some books, different things. So you can tell this is more lived in than just a standard art studio or place to view art. Another painting to click on here.
A Walk on the Beach, 1909. One of the artist's most famous, prestigious works. His wife and his eldest daughter are walking along the beach in photographic framing, wearing elegant white dresses with hats and parasols fluttering in the breeze, immediately transmitting the dynamism of the moment. In the background, the sea comes in with gentle waves, reflecting blue nuances. The scene combines a closed plain, the absence of a horizon, and a focus on movement and luminosity, represented with elegance and harmony.
That is a pretty magnificent painting, I do agree. This one doesn't seem very finished. I'm not sure what it's meant to represent, and I can't click on it, unfortunately. Maybe one of those orange circles will tell me more. We do have some more interactive elements over here, and some wheelchairs in case guests need them, because again, this is not just a standard art studio. This is something that you can actually go visit and tour. So if we open here, what we have in these little boxes, anything in particular? Ah, yes, more. This is some writing. I don't know Spanish well enough to read this, and I'm not sure what it says, but there may actually be a spoken piece that talks a little bit more about these cards.
Postcards and letters. Clotilde and Joaquin maintain fluid communication by post. In many of those letters, Joaquin tells his wife about his travels. He talks to her about fashion, about the businesses he has in mind for the future, and above all, he complains about how much he misses her.
Aw. Then we've got this over here. That's an allegory of victory. That's a reproduction of Rodin's original from the Louvre. Got a book here. I'm not sure. It looks like I can click on it. Maybe I can pick it up, but it doesn't have anything interactive that I can do with it. I've got this giant book here. Oh, I can open it. This is like a photo album. This is awesome. Wow. So I can only open one page, but that is very cool. And then we've got a gypsy woman sculpture here. This guy did some amazing work. So we're going to go do these orange circles here now.
The room is elegantly decorated because it was also used for exhibitions and commercial meetings. At that time, artists created their own galleries, displaying elements which demonstrated their good taste and cultural level. Some of those artifacts were gifts from his friends, while others were acquired by the artist himself over the course of the years.
Very cool. All right, so we got 2 more orange circles.
Born in 1863 in Valencia, Spain, Joaquin Soroya would become one of the finest exponents of international Impressionism. His unique style, his mastery and expertise in depicting light were the result of a lifetime dedicated to artistic creation. The search for aesthetics and placid atmospheres, capturing the nuances of the Mediterranean Sea, elevating him to the very pinnacle of international artists of his time. Today, we have the opportunity to submerge ourselves in his studio in Madrid, where he settled definitively with Clotilde, his beloved wife.
I do have to say, I've never been to the Mediterranean, but his depictions, especially like this one up here, like this is amazing. Great art.
We are immediately invaded by a sensation of immersion in summer light. Everything is about the sea, beauty, and tranquility, with fabrics in the shadows wafted by the breeze. The luminosity is perceptible at first sight. Echoes of reflections of warm Mediterranean seas, the whisper of the waves at dusk, bathed by gentle shimmers and reflections.
Very cool. Very, very cool. So I have really enjoyed this tour of the studio, but we're not done yet. We're going to do one more set of experiences here. We're going to go back to our home screen. And we are going to check out a vintage Suburban trip to Tokyo. So again, we've got some samples here. It's like going down this alley. It looks like Tokyo back alleys. Get immersed into the back alleys of Tokyo. Discover these little streets and explore all their corners. A cool walk into this vintage and forgotten part of the big Japanese metropolis. You will learn about some aspects of these kinds of hidden gems. A Japanese 1950s spot as never seen before, with full freedom of movement. So this is from the 50s. That's very cool. Here we go. So we have a no bicycle parking sign here that's in English and Japanese, it looks like. Let's start our... we can't go any further this way. Stage PF, it says there. I don't know Japanese, so a lot of this is going to be in a language I do not yet understand. We've got our orange circles. Some graffiti on the walls here. Street cones.
Hi, we are in the Sangenyaya Triangle, as locals affectionately call it. Sangenyaya is a 3,000-year-old pilgrimage intersection. 3 famous tea houses were in the area for these tired pilgrims, and business began to grow. The modern-day Sangenyaya Triangle is the result of the neighborhood being assimilated by expansion of the city. A lot of people use these narrow streets as shortcuts, And for others like me, it is just a relaxing place to go after the working day, where you can soak up the atmosphere of vintage bars and step back into the past.
Cool. So tea houses and bars. With the musical staff here with all the different instruments on it. It's very cool. So I do have to say, the quality on this one doesn't feel as sharp and as vivid as the art studio. Probably because they weren't sure what to focus on. But we've got this flowing fabric here inside of this shop that's closed. On Universe. Stage PF again. They're closed. I guess it's not between 12 and 1700. Got their mailbox here. Let's go ahead and click on the next orange circle.
These kinds of places can be seen as glimpses into the past, where narrow alleys immerse you in a completely different environment, remembering bygone years when Japan was rapidly growing. There is a real joy in discovering places that have survived urban redevelopment. Visiting these alleys provide a window into Tokyo's urban transformation and how these houses and buildings survived the construction boom.
Cool. So these buildings have been around for a while. So this is Tanioka. It's a cycle shop here. This way, actually, it looks like you know what? I'm gonna go this way first. There's a shirt here we can pick up, or we can touch and pick up. Wear it? Can't wear it, but let's put that back. Can't pick up this little. Yeah, you can. There's a card here. Dumpster, and there's another little card inside. I like how they took these little art prints and put them in kind of discoverable places. It's very cool. Close that right out. Got a VIP club here. So they're pouring some champagne and music. Not sure what that's intended to be. These are air conditioners and heaters, obviously. All these places are closed, unfortunately. We're just gonna head this way just for fun.
These are among the most ubiquitous objects in Tokyo. They are everywhere, just doing their job. If you see them, don't ask questions. Japanese people always respect signs. Simple and effective. Westerners might think they're for roadworks, but here, it could be for anything.
I disrespected the sign and I moved it, so I'm gonna put it back into place. Sorry. I'm that terrible Westerner. Let's get another bar here. Go ahead and click on the stickers and graffiti here.
There are hundreds of stickers on all kinds of surfaces. It's a means of urban communication that deploys icons all over the architecture, adding to an area's personality.
Cool. Bottles are heavily written on. Got a trash can with another piece of art inside it. Very cool. There's another card. Oh, this is an actual picture, it looks like, of two ladies in a sleeping bag. Or a low bed. Going further. Let's see what this. Sapporo. That's a beer. So like here in the United States as well.
Look up at the sky. Can you see it? The Carrot Tower, so called because of its color, is a symbolic building that shows how modern times evolve in tandem with the past, in a close-knit, continuous connection. You get a curious feeling walking through these alleyways, like diving among great whales and tiny fish.
So it's the Carrot Tower because of the orange-colored stripes on it. So again, this is a sign that we're not supposed to disturb, so we won't. This artwork's already calling out to us.
You will see a lot of tags and graffiti on the walls. A street art scene in the hidden urban alleyways.
I like the chicken on top of the guitar here. Very cool. That would make me want to go into this bar right there.
Different kinds of materials for different decades. Their shapes reflect traditional construction styles and materials used in the 50s and 60s. Rust, cracks, and imperfections are the wrinkles of time on this urban face.
Very cool. We go this way, bro? Nope. Those bicycle signs were there for a reason. Wonder who these folks are. They seem to be running for some form of election.
The small neighborhoods grew, smoothly fusing into the larger urban system in their own way, as can be appreciated in the variety of building shapes here. This is a little forest of residential houses sitting above shops, small restaurants, and other businesses on the ground floors. Tokyo has far more local businesses than most Western European and Northern American cities.
And that makes sense. Still curious who these politicians are. I'm sure somebody will see this and potentially be able to tell me. They might not even be politicians. Goodness, Sapporo. Something costs 2,000 yen. I'm not sure what. It's like this stair was about to open for business.
They are all over the facades. Air coolers are an iconic image of Tokyo. They create a postmodern suburban vibe that contrasts with the traditional architecture.
I think that's it. I think we've done our due diligence exploring these alleyways. This is very, very cool. Again, kind of a street version of a tour. It can be self-guided or docent-led. Got the Carrot Tower there. I didn't notice that there's a saxophone hanging, as well as the guitar here when we came through earlier. Super detailed. Really like this experience. This has been OtherSight, available now on the Quest 2. Hope you've enjoyed this video. I will be back with more content soon. Until next time, get out there and enjoy some VR for yourself. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye now.